Hey everyone. Please support what I do to help keep Greyhawk alive by subscribing to the channel. Also, please consider becoming a channel member to get early access to videos, exclusive live chats, quarterly adventure modules, and more. Thanks, and enjoy the show.
We've got one more to go in my review of the original Slave Lord series, and that's what we're going to talk about today on Greyhawk Ragnar. So here we come at long last to in my opinion, the best in the series. In the Dungeons of the Slave Lords by Lawrence Schick. Again, this was originally one of the tournament modules at Gen Con 13, I believe in 1980. It is the best of the four, to be honest, on a number of levels. First thing I want to talk about, which has little to do with the content of the dungeon, is the artwork. There is just some amazing artwork that made its way into this module. A lot of it by Earl Otis. We got that. We've got the this wonderful full page of the slave lords themselves. There's a couple of other in here that really stand out as just phenomenal. This on both pages here. We got this beautiful Myconid circle, but we've also got this wonderful. If I can, I don't know, I'm folding over a 50-year-old module. We've got this wonderful piece showing the skeletons and zombies that are festooned with mushrooms and stuff. I mean, there's just all kinds of great artwork in this one that really stands out from most of the other modules in the era, let alone the series. So on that level, I love this. It's the first appearance of a bunch of really good and useful monsters. Obviously, the Myconids, which I just mentioned, Sandlings, Magmen, which are para elementals, the Cave Fisher, which is a unique kind of thing with the filament line that comes down and grabs you and pulls you up and stuff. So there's some really great stuff in here. But what makes this module really stand out is the fact that it really sets up you're captured and you have no equipment and no possessions and no spells, and you have to escape by your wits scenario. It's now become kind of a trope. And this was the first published module that I'm aware of, certainly the first one by TSR, that established that. At the end of A3, the PCs have been captured, and they kind of railroad you into that scenario just to get you here. Um, and they're captured and they're in the dungeons, and then the island that they're on in the middle of the volcano is going to explode because the volcano's erupting. So the PCs have to escape these tunnels underneath the island, but they have literally nothing. They have like a loincloth, and that's it. And they have to scavenge all of the stuff they need to survive from what's around them. And there is precious little. There's, you can might pick up a rock or something. You have no light, and it's very specific that you can't see. Infravision isn't really going to help you all that much. You might be able to see walls, but that's about it because everything else is ambient temperature. It really makes it tough, and they specifically say that if the players complain, you have to be firm as the GM and not give in to them, because the whole point is to test their ingenuity. You find little bits of wood and you find this or that, and you can like make a sling out of something. There's it's that kind of survive by your wits kind of scenario. And this was the first one. This was the first time that had been done in a D&D game, certainly a TSR one, and it really stands out, and has become, like I say, it's become kind of a cliche at this point, but this was the first one that started it. This module does a lot of really cool things. It's much less railroady in terms of the dungeon itself. If you take a look at the map here, yeah, this side, you can see that there are it's less of a single path. You have a bunch of different ways to go, and while that does mean that in theory you could miss some of the really cool encounters that could end up helping you, it gives you a lot more freedom. And even uh, uh, even in the tournament version, you still had that freedom of movement, which was really cool. It does, because it is a tournament module. It ends up in a big fight at the very end, because the town of Suderham is being destroyed by the volcano, and everybody's fleeing to the docks. This answers the question that went unanswered in A3, which is, how do you normally get into the city? Because not everybody's going to be coming through that door dungeon that was in A3. Now you are told that there are docks, because basically you have the island in the middle of the volcano and the caldera of the volcano, and then there's a lake, and there are docks now, and you can get across the lake that way. It's about a mile and a half across. So that's the answer to the question of, how do people normally get in and out of this town? Is they go by lake. Um, and that makes a certain modicum of sense. It would have been nice to have that answer in A3, but unfortunately we didn't. Um, but on the other hand, there are a number of really good, really well thought out tactical exercises that come into the second half of the module. Once you're out of the dungeons, and you have have some weapons and equipment and so forth, you're helped a little bit by this spy for the people who sent the PCs in. He's been working undercover, which begs the question, or at least asks the question, why didn't the PCs just do the same thing? Right? If this one guy can do it, oh, what's his name again? It's the East. Oh, I can't find his name off the top of my head. Um, oh, here we go. Selzen Murtano. He's a hiding out from the ex-slaves, trying to yeah, he is working for the same nobles who sponsored the PCs, and he's infiltrated the slave lords, and he's acting as a guard right now. And the question is, why couldn't the PCs do the same thing? That would have made a lot more sense. If this guy can do it, they can do it. And in my mind, that is an option, at least in the campaign version of the scenario, for how you can do this. In fact, if the PCs are smart, that's how they will do it, because infiltrating and pretending to be their ally makes a lot more sense than sneaking around in dungeons and captured and so forth. Um, there are a couple of things, because one of the slave lords is a drow, and does therefore is a female drow, and therefore has detect lie. So if they get too close to her, then there might be a little problem of them being exposed for being agents or whatever. But that's something they wouldn't know that going into it, and it's something that it's just another hurdle that they have to overcome once they've done it. So yeah, I would actually probably steer my players into into that scenario, rather than the sneaking around and so forth. But anyway, that is an issue I've had with the series all along, and it's no surprise that I still have it here. But they have some really great scenarios that go on, little tactical bits that are going on as the population of the town is fleeing to the docks. You have one guy who's selling access to the escape ships for 50 gold pieces. The slave lords are there, obviously. They're the ones who have all the PC stuff. So there's setting up that big epic encounter on the docks with the volcano and the poison gas about to come down, and there's the slave lords and having this big fight with the PCs. There's some really great stuff in there. There's uh, uh, magmen coming out of the volcano. There's a whole bunch of different really neat things. Slaves' revenge. There's a lot of little set pieces that really make it come to life. It's very much very well thought out in that respect. A lot of memorable characters, a lot of memorable scenes. Very nice setups for the PCs to be ingenious in escaping those dungeons. It's just very well, solidly put together as a whole. There are a few quibbles. The name of the high priest of the Earth Dragon it changes from A3 to A4. Okay, and there's no explanation given. But it just all of a sudden he's got a different name. It sort of implies that the old one was killed, but there's nothing to say that in the module, or it's just a weird inconsistency in something that's otherwise really well done. So there you have it. It's absolutely the best of the four, and I will actually be going forward into the future with more of the slave lord stuff because they didn't stop with A4. Oh no no no! They put everything together into a mega module, and I'm going to be in at some point in the future I'll do a video about that and kind of show how they changed the original material and added new stuff in, just like they did with the Giants. And then of course we have the Slavers module that came much later and pushes the timeline very far forward, where the slave lords become resurgent and so forth. So there's a lot more Slavers goodness to come. But there we are for the fourth and final in the original series. Highly recommended. Very good writing, very well plotted out, and a lot of good opportunities. You could run into resistance from your players, claiming things are unfair because oh, you took all my stuff. You like the module says, you got to be strong and you got to play through it. Well, a couple of things that they don't really go into in a lot of depth are why did the volcano choose this moment to erupt? The high priest of the Earth Dragon, uh, who's the god of the island or something like that. They don't really go into a lot of detail. But he believes that the PCs are responsible for angering the Earth Dragon, which is why the island is exploding. Okay, but it does seem a bit contrived to have the volcano erupting just as the PCs are there. And I know why they do it from a game point of view. It establishes the ticking clock. You want to have that pressure of oh, we got to get out, we got to get out, we got to get out, and they accomplish that by having the earth tremors coming in every. I think it starts like every 35 minutes and then every 30 minutes and every 25 and so forth. And then you say, oh, there's a stronger tremor. Oh, there's a very much stronger tremor. And that's that gooses the PCs into hurrying up and getting stuff done rather than just, hiding, waiting to heal, waiting to regain spells and so forth. You're on the clock. And if you wait, there are a couple of things in there that they tell the DM to do to discourage them from waiting, because otherwise they will get caught in the explosion and they will die, because the town is about to become inundated with poisonous volcanic gas. Which is another thing that's a little not good about this, is that it takes this what otherwise could be developed into a really cool location in the Pomarge, and it effectively destroys it. It's very. I would probably after this module, I would say that enough people escaped in the boats, and then they came once the gas dissipated and the lava hardened and everything. The walls are still there. Some of the buildings are obviously damaged and so forth. But they came back, they repaired, and now it's back. You could turn that into a great hub of adventure in those circumstances. So there's a lot to say for it. It's got a very well defended position against humanoids and so forth. It could even be the site of a resurgence, or maybe the Prince of Ulick decides that now is the time to establish his a presence in the Pomarch itself, and maybe they try to take it. But we all know that Turash Mak is coming and is about to do his empire. So and of course, later on, they kind of retcon Turash Mak into being one of the slave lords, which was kind of lame, but what can you do? So anyway, please tell me in the comments what you think of this module. Do you agree or disagree with me on its how it fares relative to the others? Have you ever run this? Let me know in the comments what how did your party handle being stripped of all their stuff? How did they react to that? I'd love to hear that. So anyway, hope you like this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. This has been really well received, which is a really nice thing, this series. So anyway, hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.